At North York Harvest's main warehouse, volunteers pack boxes of donated food to be distributed out to smaller agencies across northern Toronto. The food bank goes through roughly 3 million pounds of food a year and serves 30,000 clients per month. But its executive director says demand is growing at a disturbing pace.
We're at levels, frankly, that we couldn't have even dreamed of a couple of years ago. And so just over this past 12 months, we've broken our record for the total number of individuals that we've served 3 different times.
It's a trend that's being felt beyond Ontario's borders, as reflected in Food Bank Canada's latest hunger count report. This past March, Canada's food banks reached a grim new milestone, more than 2 million visits in a single month. Advocates now urging government officials for change as food banks across the country are reaching their absolute limit.
We also saw in this year's report that 30% of food banks ran out of food before meeting the demand. So times are really tough. It's across the board in every community. We have seen, double-digit or triple-digit growth in Ontario and in Quebec, but everywhere has seen almost doubling the need for food banks in the last 5 years.
There has also been a noticeable change in the types of people who are visiting. The report shows a growing percentage of those using food banks have jobs, and that most pay market rent. Alarmingly, around 33% of visits are for children. Michelle Ortiz is a single mother of 3 who runs a catering business out of her home.
In the last 3 years, everything have been increasing, the food, everything. So even my rent, I have been increased around 3 times in the last 5-6 years. I have to look for another resources to sustain, to keep going.
Marian Yoon arrived from Nigeria 2 years ago and has had to deal with job instability.
Almost everything goes to tax, the housing. You have to budget. You have to weigh your priorities, and food is number one priority, right? Food and housing.
When you've got food banks having to reduce the amount of food or tell people they can't come as often as they need to, what we're seeing is the food bank system really buckling under the strain.
The 2024 report outlines a number of solutions for all levels of government, including more support for low-income workers, more investments in affordable housing, and a dire need to address food insecurity in remote and northern areas.
So we need to see the number of people who need us come down so that we can meet those community needs. It's not a good situation right now.
For City News, I'm Erica Natividad.